stumbled upon a tavern that was in the middle of a great celebration. Essentially, they had a large hunt contest, and
I was there for the beginning of it.
That wasn't recorded though.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're ignoring that.
Gotcha.
So you stumble upon a tavern in the midst of celebrating a large hunt. Allegedly, you see a wyvern head that someone took down. I swear, if that cat knocks that light down, it'd be fun in video. And there's people there celebrating. There's free food, free drink, so it's very easily a good stopping point to grab some dinner at the very least for you, because free, well-cooked mutton, not well done, but cooked good, would be a more apt way of phrasing. You, I assume, kind of minding your own business.
Indeed, okay. I do.
So while you're doing this, you do notice a very drunken dwarf comes up to the two people who took down the wyvern. One is a half-dragon, the other is a human mage. And he's very drunk, so you can very easily overhear what's being talked about.
Okay.
And what you do here is he's talking about pretty much how he knows a way to get a great treasure. Because you seem like adventurers who they seem like adventurers who know what they're doing.
Okay.
So that's where you had left off at.
So then you completed the hunt already?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we know what we're doing to an extent.
Does this pique Grog's interest at all?
I'm gonna casually listen. I'm not gonna make it look like I'm actively listening to them or anything of that nature. Just continuing about my business, eating my food, but I am listening to the conversation being had.
What? I've noticed you before.
I don't think you guys have met each other in session.
Oh, you weren't Grog for the last?
No, he was the half-dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Earbender.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I noticed a nearly 7 foot tall, hulking figure.
He sticks out like a sore thumb in the crowd, but it's not.
The floorboards are creaking underneath his mass.
My grandeur.
Cultivating mass.
Yeah. Oh, it's already been cultivated.
Black Lotus style. Yeah, so I'm going to continue eating my food and pretending, just going about my business while still listening to the conversation being had.
So it does go about. The dwarf introduces himself as Drumbeard.
Drumbeard.
Very, very slurred,
More like
thick
Drunkbeard.
accent.
Yeah.
He says, "I've got a map that'll take you right there."
Well, if you have a map, why don't you go there yourself, though?
Oh, I tried. Oh, my brother didn't make it out. It was a long time ago. It wasn't good. It wasn't a fun time.
So, what do you want from us, then?
Some coin to buy some drink.
I'll give him.
As I hear that
coins.
part, I look over. Isn't the drink free right now, bro?
Maybe.
Yeah, but it's not tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe he means later. Maybe he's saving up for the next.
You can tell this guy is just electric.
I'll throw him 3 coins.
Oh,
3 gold
friend.
coins.
3 gold coins?
Yeah, I'm feeling generous.
You're feeling super generous.
I don't know if we won anything, but we just took down the
You
wyvern.
won bragging rights.
Oh, shit! That doesn't get me paid.
You could always ask Mr. Lister if there's some form of prize support, since you did get a great prize.
Look, I'll take that wyvern head down to the trapper and try to sell that.
So as he hands you the map in exchange for coin, a slight glimmer of hope does cross his eyes as he stumbles back up to Mr. Lister. Looking at the map
I think
handed
he's
to
just
you,
glazed over and drunk, but
it's clear that Drumbeard was obviously not the cartographer. It's filled with elegant line work and ornate scroll work.
Yeah, you could be a good card.
In a deep green color flecked with gold. The map seems to be familiar to the layout where you are, but significantly older than you're familiar with. For example, a small town on the map named Grindlewood is now a bustling capital of the Ipravel Kingdom. Several days to the north of that lies the Nagrok Gas Mountains. Its highest peak is a marker Drumbeard mentioned, the Temple of Obsitor.
That looks like a very high peak. Perhaps I will need a traveling partner. I don't know.
The half-dragon that Grogswig is with says, "This is interesting. I wish to consult with my order before moving forward." And kind of goes and leaves the tavern.
But for Grogswig, time is of the essence. So he does a once-over in the tavern, and then he makes his way to the large hulking figure. I'm just gonna slap the map down on the table.
Can I help you with something?
I'm sure you heard the drunk dwarf. I did see you casting a glance over at least once.
Well, it's kind of hard not to hear him.
Well, my question is, my previous partner is playing a little shy, so I think time is of the essence on this one. Maybe this dwarf is gonna come to his senses and he should be pursuing this treasure if it's so great. If not, I don't want to let any more time go.
I mean, I don't really see what treasure concerns me all that much.
Well,
my only thing is I'm just looking for a good fight. And right now, I see the prize sitting at your table right now, and you look like a good fight.
Well, we can figure that out.
You know what? Maybe I'll get something out of it. Maybe I won't. But either way, you'll be close by.
Yeah. Look, if we don't get any prize at the end of the road, we have each other. Winks.
Friendship was the prize they made along the way.
Turns out the whole time the real treasure was the friendship they get.
I would like to...
Grog is playing hard to get.
I would like to roll to intimidate.
Okay.
To me.
Yeah. Let him know more or less, look, if anything goes down and you try and do some funny business to me, I will not hesitate to kill you.
Okay. You rolled a 1.
I rolled 1.
Go ahead and roll a counter check, Travis.
I'm just gonna play off it and let him think that I'm afraid. My voice is gonna crack. Like, okay, I got you. I got you.
So you think you're a real Billy Badass with your intimidation.
Voice
and you
squeaks.
believe that you're borderline prepubescent sounding.
The sad part is if I rolled a 2, it would have came out to like an 8.
You think he is terrified of you. So
I'm gonna go head upstairs and change my clothes.
Well, if time is of the essence, leave your pants soiled. Let us go.
You smell that?
So through your
What's that
adventures,
smell?
you do know that the road out of Mr. Lister's, if you continue it north, does lead to Grindlewood.
Okay. Well, that might be the best course of action, is to head to Grindlewood here on the map first before we keep going towards the destination.
I suppose we could pick up some supplies before we head to the mountain.
Yeah. Mr. Lister does make sure you're full up on a week's worth of rations. So, you know, it should...
I'll reluctantly take the rations.
You guys know it should take about 14 days to get there. But you guys do, also being familiar with the area, know that it's not an insane amount of traversing. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's road the whole way. You're within 2 weeks of the capital.
So we're not really off the beaten path.
You're not off the beaten path.
Okay.
So we can just go until we're exhausted.
Yeah. That's essentially what it is. You'll pass farmlands as you go. You don't really have to worry along your whole trek.
Well, then I say we just go ahead and make our way to the town.
Grindlewood.
About how long of a walk is it going to take us?
About 14 days.
14 days. So.
But there's pit stops you can make along the way.
Yeah.
You can barter for food.
I'm gonna ask Mr. Lister if he knows where I could find like at least a donkey. I mean, we did win the thing. Maybe he knows about a donkey.
He says he's got a little bit of an older one that he could part with,
Okay.
since you had such a great
Yeah.
story, essentially, now for him to be able to pass on in the future.
Yeah, the wyvern's yours to display, my friend, but a donkey will do us great.
What about a dog?
A riding dog?
No, not a riding dog.
That'd be a big riding dog for him.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean for me.
A big riding dog for you, too. He says, hey, pick of the mutts that are outside.
About a
Are
buck,
they all trained to hunt?
$1.50.
Some of them might be. They're mutts.
Okay. I'd like
I
to
don't know how well they're listening to you.
Can I do a check on them and see if I can pick the best one out of the grouping?
Sure.
So that'll come out to like 8.
You can pick out the best one,
Okay.
but you can't get more than 20 feet away from him. Or 20 feet close to him.
Oh, good. He's vicious.
No, he's runs away from you.
Even better. We're gonna make great.
That's just gonna inflate his ego even more. He already thinks I'm afraid.
It's a wild dog. They don't really generally do
No,
too well,
I get
especially
that.
when someone's the size that he is.
So I will just attempt to throw some meat at him to try and gain his trust and try and coax him to come along in the journey with us.
How long are you going to spend trying to do this?
Not too long. We'll say an hour.
Give me a roll.
Let's see if my die won't actually fucking play nice right now. It comes out to like 14.
It kind of sniffs at it, but it doesn't get any closer. It doesn't appear to trust you.
You know what? Fine. Fuck you, Doug.
I don't even
I'm
think
done.
you would. I don't think this donkey could sustain you, so I guess I'll use the donkey.
I don't care. I'll walk.
Well, you think the donkey would sustain you? Okay.
I'll walk.
Because I mean, you're more sturdy than me, so you could probably keep up with.
Wanted to bring a dog for the journey, so I'd have companionship besides whoever you are.
Grog.
Grog? I'm Grog.
Well, Grogswig, but you can call me Grog.
Sure.
My friends call me Grogswig. You can call me Grog.
Nobody calls me anything.
So the 2 weeks pass by uneventfully. Like I said, you can barter for food along the way. You see plenty of faces.
Occasional lodging, I'm assuming.
Occasional lodging. You're 2 weeks from a capital. It's not going to be rough and tumble. You're not going to have to worry about bandits, that kind of thing. And, as the outlines,
Sad.
as the outlines of a large stone wall creep into view, you begin to suspect that you are approaching the gates of Grindelwood. You made better time than you were expecting, so it's actually close to later afternoon on the 13th day.
Okay.
As the landscape begins to transition from rural to more urban, you notice a large glimmering castle atop the tallest hill behind the walls. As you approach the gatehouse, a guard nods to you as you pass through the barrier. You are greeted by the hustle and bustle of a city, the size of which you have never experienced before. You do appear to be in some form of a marketplace, but it's like a common folk marketplace.
Okay.
There's fishmongers, there's meatmongers.
Okay.
It's not.
We're in the working class part of town.
Yeah. Well, what's our purpose for being in Grindelwald to begin with?
I mean, we could really just pass through. We're heading to the mountain.
I mean, the only thing I would really want to consider...
Anything that would help us get to the peak.
Well, yeah. The only thing I would really want to consider while we're here is try and get any sort of information that would pertain to what we're trying to achieve, which we might be able to get from any magistrate or mayor or whatever, or any guard captains of that nature. And the only other thing is if we could find maybe like a good smith around here. I mean, the city is this place is quite vast. I would imagine that there's probably a better smith in the current area we're in at the moment. The map that he has, does it show a layout of Grindelwald in any way? Okay.
Grindelwald
It's
is marked as a small town
Okay.
on the map.
So this map is
Very
quite
old.
old from what we have at this point. So I think the first course of action would be to find a guard captain to see if he has a more updated map of the city for us.
You won't find a guard captain, you'll find a guard.
Okay.
There's one at the gate that nodded at you as you came in.
Yeah.
He said, we don't carry maps, but what might you be looking for?
I'm trying to find myself if I can, a mastersmith.
A mastersmith? You'll
Or
have
somebody
to...
close.
Mastersmiths, you'd have to get through the gates. The inner gates.
What would it take to do that?
Walrose.
Yeah, kinda have to be invited. That's really reserved for the nobility, the upper classes, the true skilled merchants. There are plenty of fine smiths a little bit further north. You get kind of past the common folk, and there'll be more merchants for you.
If I got enough coin, can I get into the inner gates?
I don't know. I've never had that much coin in my life.
Okay.
I don't have that much coin.
Well, then, without consulting with him, I'm going to start heading towards the inner gate to try and find my way of getting in there.
Okay.
Maybe you can intimidate your way.
Not with this freaking, apparently.
Hey, look, it worked on me, right?
The D20 has just been upset that you have been forgetting it. So it is taking it against you.
I guess so.
So you do come to a double-sided gate. A very large gate. You can see the gate is risen, but there are armed guards there. There's several up on the wall. They look more seasoned than the other one. Not that they're like ready to run and gun you down just for being there, but they do look more familiar with.
So they look like they've been in military for a while.
Absolutely.
Can I do a roll check to see if I would possibly know any of them
Challenge
to some
them to
degree?
hand-to-hand
Sure, give me a
combat.
12.
No.
Okay. I figured as much, but
Bob.
it doesn't hurt. You never know.
You
You
might
never know
actually-
who you're gonna run into.
Remember from boot camp?
I haven't seen you in 30 years.
Well, that's awkward since I'm 27.
Okay, so I'll roll up to the gates and I will ask politely if there is a way I can gain entrance into the inner city to try and find a mastersmith.
No one's allowed through without writs. Writs of passage.
What would it take to achieve something like that?
Someone inviting you in.
And how am I supposed to find somebody to invite me in on this side?
Catch them outside and hope they're in a good mood.
Catch
Fair
22.
point. Fair point.
Most people in there don't often leave these days. There's a lot of stirrings of nefarious plots going around.
Could you explain a bit more?
Just, it's not the easiest piece we have at the moment. So, they're worried. So, that's why veterans are here instead of your ordinary city guard.
Fair enough. You do both look like you're very capable.
We've seen our fair share, unfortunately.
We all have, haven't we?
Grogs eyes him up and down. And he's thinking of 100 ways to kill him.
They eye him up and higher.
All right.
Grog looks down at
that,
him. You seem capable.
I see that this may be worth. This may not be worth quite the amount of time I would need to put into it. So can you point me to a more advanced smith on this side of the gate that you might know of?
Kind of looks at his partner.
See, the system is rigged, my friend. It's rigged against us.
Kind of looks at his friend. Who do you think we should send him to? Plenty of good smiths. I mean, I'm partial to Frank. He's my friend. Other than that, we've got Korn, who's trained in the mountains as a dwarf. People tend to like
Corn
dwarven
sounds
steel.
good.
Can you direct me to Corn?
Yeah, he gives you some rough directions, which it's relatively easy enough to find your way to. They're well streets, and these people have lived here their whole lives, so they are familiar.
I think I'll just go ahead and make my way that way for now then.
Okay, as you do make your way, you do hear the sound of hammer on anvil, and there is a dwarf pounding steel, shaping a sword.
Noise.
Not a sword, a sword.
Sword.
A sword.
Your sword's just as big as mine.
Not quite.
How are you now?
Not so bad, and you?
Good.
I was looking to see if you would be interested in making some coin and fashioning me a weapon.
I don't know if I got enough ore for a weapon your size. What you looking for? He does. He re-sticks the sword back in the forge and kind of leans on his anvil like this.
And can I do like a general investigation into looking through his shop and seeing what his craftsmanship would look like?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's 12 again.
It looks like it's very well crafted steel, armor, weapons of varying sizes, types.
All mundane.
All mundane.
Okay.
Grogswig immediately loses. It's all you, friend.
I'd like for you to actually fashion me a great axe if you could.
I got some.
Is there... What am I trying to get at here? What's the best way?
Are you asking if they're magic?
You want a masterwork?
Oh, see, are you asking masterwork?
I'm asking for, what's in the back that,
You don't want a regular.
sell to the normal average customer.
You're looking for something a little special.
I'm looking for something that does
You want something with a little pizzazzy oomph.
maybe a little bit more,
Not the run of the mill.
He goes, yeah, you want something nice. Now,
It doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be too pretty. I want something that smacks a little bit harder than the one I got. As
So
I
you want something with
hold
a
it out
little
with
bit
one hand.
extra oomph instead of looking
A
fancy.
little bit of heft to it.
I don't care what it looks like. It's gonna get covered in blood.
I like you.
I like you more.
I like you.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
You're kind of cute.
I got a master crafted great axe.
Really?
Yeah.
What would it take to get that off your hands?
Well, I like you. So we'll say 300 coin
That is pretty.
gold.
Drive a hard bargain, sir.
That is pretty pricey. I don't quite have that much. Is there anything I could do for you to help bring that price down?
Well, is there persuasion on there?
Well, you're not so rough on the eyes.
Yeah, I have a persuasion.
One.
13.
Yeah, that's about the best price I can do.
Fair enough. Well then, guess I'll just have to stick with what I got. Alright. Have yourself a nice day.
Same to thee.
Maybe when we find this treasure, we'll come back and get you that.
Begins to pound on the...
Alright, I'll just make my way to an inn, grab some knowledge, grab some rations.
Okay. So you guys make your way to an inn.
Looking for an information broker.
Looking for information.
Yeah.
Proud of you for that one. You should
Get
feel
it?
bad about that.
Because we're in the inn? Right?
I need outformation.
So it does go. You find a tavern. It's pretty nondescript, nothing fancy, nothing rough and tumble. It's not a dive. It's not the equivalent of a dive bar, but it's not a fancy bar.
That's fine by me. I'll go ahead and get myself some food while I'm trying to get some information.
Bartender's an older woman. There is a minstrel playing. Nothing fancy, ornate, just making noise to lighten the mood.
You know how minstrels be making noise.
The minstrel cycle.
Toss a pat to your minstrel.
So, while I'm sitting down, are you sitting with me or what?
No, I'm gonna find a spot on the other side
All right. Well, while you're
and try to listen. Use my
all right,
ears.
pause.
Did we get catted?
I think the timer just shuts
Okay.
off in about 30 minutes. So technical difficulties. If anything, that might be a little bit easier for cutting down into sections for YouTube.
Yeah, part 1.
Because I usually do about like 30-minute sections, and I think that's about where we timed out at.
Are we good enough?
25 minutes, so yeah.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. If you're gonna go sit down, do you mind if I take a look at the map for a little bit?
Yeah, I'll load the map to you.
Alright. I want to try and examine the path that we need to take to get to this peak and whatnot. And, grab a barmaid, ask her if, she knows anybody that might have some information about this map.
Yeah, and I'll try to listen in around the tavern, see if I can get the gossip. The local.
She's dumbfounded by the map.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that it looks, the age of it. It's for as long as her mother's mother has been around. This has been a thriving metropolis here, so no one knows when it was a small town.
Probably thousands of years old.
Thank you. That's actually a bit of useful information. I appreciate your time. I'm going to walk over to you. I have an idea about something, but I need to borrow the map. I'll be back in like an hour or so.
Got it.
Okay. I'm going to go back to those two guards
Okay.
that are at the inner gate.
There are two different guards, but there are two guards
Okay.
there.
I'm going to go back to the inner gate.
Okay.
And inform the two that are there now that I spoke with the other two guards that were there, and they more or less told me how I could get in. But I want to show them the map. And nobody within the outer city has been able to tell me anything. And my best guess is that I might be able to find somebody in there who has some knowledge on this, whether this be ancient, arcane, in any way, shape, or form. I have a feeling that I might be able to find some answers within those walls. Even if I can't gain entrance, is there any way of being able to have somebody come to me to talk to me?
Ooh, nice.
19.
Go ahead and roll me a d6.
5.
Okay. Kind of. What she says, I'll go see if I can find anyone. And kind of walks back into the inner walls of the city.
Just hear him rummaging around.
You just hear somebody peeing behind the wall, and he appears again. Couldn't find anybody.
No.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet
Actually,
you.
it's probably more like Jacob turn.
My name's Grog.
Quite a leader around here.
Okay.
He says, here you have some form of an interesting map.
Everything I've been able to find out about, nobody's really been able to give me any answers. It's quite old. It's very ornate, and it depicts this metropolis as a tiny little town. So it's also quite old.
Our histories put that probably several hundred years old then. Can I see the map? I can just look at it if you don't want to. If you want to keep hold of it.
You can look at it.
Okay.
Yes.
He does. He has his hands in pockets. He kind of walks up to you,
Mm-hmm.
and I.
A little bit. I'm gonna be able to take a close look. Flip it over for him. Let him see the backside of it.
Judging by the lay of the kingdoms and the lands, it's probably about a 900-year-old map.
Okay.
The condition of that is exquisite.
Would you happen to know anything about the cartographer who could have made this map?
No. Name is more than likely left to the ages. I see no maker's mark.
Okay.
Sell the map. Instead of...
I had actually considered that.
That's probably worth,
Selling the map.
probably worth more.
I really did consider that for a moment. It's like,
It's an
I could probably get a
antique.
couple hundred coin for it, maybe.
At least.
Um,
Collector's edition.
Do you know anybody within the inner walls that might be able to put a real good hard look into this and give me some answers?
I'm going to shoot straight with you.
Okay.
You're new here.
Of course.
The guards happened to catch me while I was walking.
Yeah.
There are scribes in the keep who know, but even I have a hard time getting in there sometimes.
Can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
Would you be an escort for me, and you invite me into the inner walls, and I will let you hold on to the map as collateral, that I won't do anything.
Through in here?
Mm-hmm.
Are you inquiring as to anything on the map? I'm curious as to how you got it. He looks at the guards and he motions to you.
Okay.
And he turns to walk.
I give him very vague information that the map was given to me and my companion by an older fellow.
Where would your companion be? Are they in the town?
Yeah, he's in the outer city right now. He's in the taverns.
Okay, you do know the tavern name. I'm not coming up with a generic tavern name because it's the Fish Song Inn.
Okay.
Sure. He kind of snaps at one of the guards. Fish Song Inn. What's his name?
Oh, Grog.
Grog.
Grog Square.
Very well. Find Grog. Bring him to my house, please.
VIP.
Yo, check it.
So I will give him general information. I won't give him every minute detail about what our quest is, what we're trying to achieve, so on and so forth. But I will give him enough information that should be able to satisfy his curiosity.
He's just... You get the feeling that he's just genuinely interested.
Yes.
You do arrive to his house. It is close to another inner wall that's even closer to the keep, and it is a mansion. It's enormous.
So it looks like you do pretty well for yourself.
I was born into it.
Okay, fair enough.
So, in the kingdom of Grindelwald, obviously we are the keep, the capital. There are 5 noble families beneath the king.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to be one.
I was about to say, I would imagine you're one.
Yes. The head of House Turner.
So, that being said, you seem like, because of your family name, that you might have some influence around here.
To a degree.
Okay.
I mean, it is a there's a hierarchy.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm the lowest of the great families, but I am the head of the house. You do see Grogswig does catch up rather quickly. And you do see it. There are banners floating. The guards are wearing their own personal crest, different from those of the city. It is a 2 black wings on a shield of red.
So, I'm assuming we're gonna go inside of his manor and everything of that nature.
He leads you in. He takes you to
I catch Grog up on what's happening. I met this man at the gate. He informed me. I let him look at the map, and he seemed to be very curious, but he seemed to be genuinely curious about it, not nefarious in any real way.
Maybe we'd be better off trying to find a way to sell the map.
I'm kind of thinking about that too, but let's see what we can get.
So he does sit down at a large feast table for what you're used to in a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Sits on one side, he motions to chairs on the other side for you guys. Says, food, drink, do you require anything?
I'll take something to eat.
I'm okay. Just got back from the tavern.
I'm always down to eat. I'm a big man.
You don't say.
I do, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I would imagine just general conversation on... I don't know how much you feel like divulging to this gentleman that we don't really know that well on what we're trying to achieve with this said map.
Had that ever came up? Like
I gave him general knowledge on how we obtain the map, why I'm even asking questions about it. I'm more curious about the origins of the map more than anything else, because one of the things I was able to find is that it is several hundred years of age.
900 years old?
Yes. So out of curiosity, what do you think a map like this would go for, to, selling it to like a or something like that? Or maybe somebody who's a collector?
Probably not much.
What makes you say that?
There's no information tied to it. We have maps of this age already. A collector might be willing to pay... As a collector myself, I might pay 60, 70 gold pieces.
Seems like a low ball.
I'd like to roll to see if he's lying.
Okay.
Or not divulging
900
the
years
full
old.
truth.
Yeah.
13.
You believe him.
Okay.
Seems like a very skilled cartographer too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to gain
looks like a
information on
timeless
the
map,
cartographer.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So, what would it take to gain an audience with, I'm assuming it's a king at this point?
Yes, it's King Raymond.
King Raymond?
Yes.
What would
Everybody loves
what would we have to do to try and seek an audience with him?
Grow your name, notoriety. I even have a hard time getting.
Fair enough.
We have
Could cause a scene.
no. That's more likely to find you in the dungeons.
Could cause a big enough scene.
It's very much.
I can break these cuffs.
It's very much an uneasy piece that we have at the moment.
I heard a little bit about that from the guards. What seems to be like there's apparently some sort of talks of insurrection.
There's been a thieves guild that's been growing in notoriety around. That's why it's very difficult to.
go to the thieves guild.
That's why there's the security that's grown,
Mm-hmm.
and just an uneasy piece of late with our neighboring kingdom of Halaz.
So, what do you do?
I help rule.
You help rule. You are.
He just holds down the house.
I mean,
Man of the house.
do you have other family members that are alive? I don't see anybody, and this is a really big place.
Somebody has to pay the servants.
I do have a wife and 3 sons.
Oh, okay.
I help oversee agricultural divisions.
Oh, so you're a politician,
Yes.
more or less, huh?
I was born into it.
Whew.
I can just see you judging intensely, even though you're not keeping your mouth shut.
Bite my teeth.
They do
despite
bring out
my tongue.
A larger platter with chicken. A whole chicken. He grabs a leg and says,
I
I
was
assume
expecting a
you'll
little
probably
more
I
than
was about to say,
chicken.
for a noble family, it's chicken.
I assume you'll have the rest.
I mean, if Grog wants a leg, I'll eat the rest.
I guess I'll have a chicken.
So I think we'll just go ahead and have general conversation with him, and I don't really see us getting too much more from this gentleman. I don't know how truthful he's being with us, but if he is lying to us in any way, he's very good at it.
Yeah, what really his motivation is.
I don't think he really has much motivation from what I can tell, but I just don't think we're going to get too much further from here. I mean, I managed to get us to the inner city. Would it be possible to go exploring?
Yeah. You won't get through the inner gate, but...
Oh, no, that's fine. My whole purpose for even trying to get in here to begin with was for information and to see a more capable smith.
But you can afford the less capable ones. So.
That's fair. But, you know, who knows, maybe my intimidation skills will be up higher this time.
Yeah. An easily intimidated smith. Let's go.
So we'll make polite conversation until I can feel that there's a point where we can break.
Yeah, it's all pretty general conversation. He's interested in the map, but there's not much to glean from it.
Mm-hmm.
He does say that it is very well crafted, but there's...
So what do you want to do?
I think this map is worth something.
I think so too. I think we're getting lowballed by this guy.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, he seems to be very much a businessman in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And you know how politicians can be.
Did you ask him if he knew anything about the mountain?
Not really. Not specifically about the mountain. No. If you want to ask, you're welcome to.
You know anything about that mountain?
Which one?
On
The
the map.
Nagarok
No, the-
Gas?
The tall one.
Looks... This one that's marked Temple of Obsitor?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
Oh.
Do you have any text or anything that might within your manor that might have any information on it?
I have texts from that era. I've read them, but I've never heard of it.
Okay. This might be a goose chase, bro.
Maybe.
You got a map from a drunken dwarf.
Maybe we should just get the provisions and head to the mountain.
I think so.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just spinning our wheels here. I was just trying to hope to find me a good smithy.
Yeah. Well, I think the dwarf was a good smithy.
He definitely was. It's just don't exactly have that kind of coin. What kind of coin you got?
I got about. He pulls out a handful of coin. I got about that much.
You're a liar. Alright, why don't we just go get our shit and head to this stupid mountain?
Okay.
So Jacob does explain that you do have a writ from him. He will inform the guards.
Mm-hmm. So anytime we want to go into the inner gates, we can now?
Yes.
Okay, the first inner gate.
Yes. If you guys do happen to investigate this, let me know. I'm curious. I'm a bit of an amateur historian, so it's a little bit up my niche. Just,
I mean, what are you doing right now?
my job.
Got vacation time?
No.
How old are your sons?
The oldest is 15.
Damn it. So they're not ready to freaking start running things yet.
No.
Any of them feel like being an adventurer?
Trying to see if this man wants to get rid of one of his sons.
No.
It's worth a shot. Alright, well, I think we're gonna go ahead and
We
head
could
out.
use a meat shield.
We've got an agenda that we probably should keep to. I was just hoping to get a bit more information on this map, but it seems to me that, especially if somebody like you doesn't have that much knowledge on it, we're probably not going to find too much more information on it.
Doubtful. That mountain does look to be got a 4-day hard ride to the north.
Actually, there is one thing you could help us with. Do you have any horses that we could buy off of you?
How about an exchange?